and welcome to the Life Balance podcast with myself, Carol Watson, and Lisa Sid.
Hi everyone.
Hey, and this episode we're going to speak about dealing with defeat and what that actually means, establishing if you have actually been defeated, and if so, what happens next. And the reason that I wanted to speak about this is if I don't deal with not feeling very well. And I feel like I'm having to admit defeat, that my body is defeated, and sometimes I need to ask for help with a wee one, or when I used to work having to phone in sick, that just killed me because I was like, I'm admitting defeat. I hated
You're not a
sick.
team player.
Exactly.
You're not pulling your weight.
I was probably the least sick person ever in every company I've worked in, but I still hate it. And I was speaking with someone about this last night, and they basically told me off, saying that I am the only person that thinks I am defeated about this thing that we're speaking about, which we'll come to, and to get over it. No one else judges you as harshly as you judge yourself. So this is why I wanted to speak about this today, is working out if you have actually been defeated, and how you work that out, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it's very true. I think quite a lot of people can resonate. You are quite harsh on yourself. You're your toughest critic, as people say.
Yeah.
And I think it is. Well, I have serious fear of missing out.
Yeah.
So if I can't go to something because of something, or whatever has happened, I always feel like the things that you don't want to do that you should do. Like the gold is in the meeting, and when you can't do that, something else comes up, and you feel a bit defeated against it, then it's hard.
Yeah.
And I think it's the time that it takes you to come out of that little slump.
Yeah, absolutely. And so first of all, we just said about identifying if you have been defeated or not. And I think, how do you do that? I think speaking to people is the way to do it. Like, we chat a lot, and say to you, right, this is what's happened, this is what I've done with it, and you are honest enough. You're not there to be my best pal, you're there to be like,
I'm not harsh.
No, but that's what you need. Like, if I need someone to be, I've got friends who I know will be like, yeah, Carol, you've done amazing, regardless of whether they think I've done amazing or whatever. But because we work so closely and in the same industry, it makes sense to speak to you about it. So I'll tell you whatever it is. We have an unofficial NDA about everything, and you give me perspective. You'll say, oh, well, I don't know, maybe you should have done this, or no, what you've done's fine, you just have to chill out, wait and see, stop being a big girl.
Oh yeah, there's a few conversations we've both had with each other, like, oh, what should we do? And you kind of have to, like, on that, is it actually defeat? Well, sometimes you don't know until you've come through something, till that thing has actually happened, till something it's actually came to fruition.
Yeah, examples. So I posted about it this morning on LinkedIn. When I was having my daughter, I was in the middle of studying for my final year at university. I was actually in the process of writing my research proposal for my dissertation, and I was naively hoping that I could get all the coursework that I needed to do before having her, and then just start the next semester 3 months later. Obviously that's not how life works, especially when it comes to nature and babies and things like that. So I had her a month early, so that ruined the plans. And obviously having her a month early, there was reasons. I ended up in hospital the week before I had her, and I was like lying in my hospital bed trying to do my research proposal. I had preeclampsia, which the signs are it's a lot to do with your blood pressure, but also as part of that you get sore heads. So I'm like typing away, and I'm like to my mum, just as like a nurse was coming in to sort something, probably check my blood pressure, and I was like, oh, I've got such a sore head. And the nurse was like, yeah, that's part of preeclampsia. And I was like, oh, I thought it was on the laptop. She's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be on your laptop. So I was actually told by the nurse to pretty much close it and let it go. And at this point they'd decided that I would be having her early, so...
And so you would have had deadlines to meet though, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And all I had to do is I had, obviously I'd had meetings with the university, the head of my course at university before, and told them like I was pregnant and this is when I was due and blah blah blah. And she kind of set my expectations. She's like, well, you could defer the whole year and just not come. You could do this. You could start and see how far you go, and then if you have to defer that semester, you can, and then start your second semester as normal, which is actually what I ended up doing. But see, typing that email to be like, I'm going to have to defer this semester, I was totally sobbing my heart out, obviously being pregnant and not well. Bit emotional anyway, but I think I know what I'm like, and even if I wasn't pregnant, I'd still be crying, because to me that was me admitting defeat. But I still went back to uni 3 months after having her, did that semester, everything that I should have been handing in the January from the first semester, I handed in the following August. So I graduated 6 months later than the rest of my classmates, but I still graduated and got first. Like, that's not defeat, but at the time I thought, I'm a failure, what's going on? And it's just trying to get that perspective in the moment as to whether you are actually being defeated. Yeah, so it's just trying to work out whether you've actually been defeated or not.
And in that scenario, it was completely out of your hands. So do you class that as a defeat, or...?
But I do in my head, and that's the issue, and that's why I wanted to speak about this, because I can't be the only person. There's other people who are as nuts as me.
Yeah, and I think, like, relating that back to what we do in property, a lot of things do get taken out of your hands. Well, for example, when I actually graduated, I graduated in the middle of the recession. So it was like, I know, 2009, and my degree is in events and business management, and the events side, like most corporate companies, cut their event budget. That was the first thing to go, and then it was, staff redundancies and things like that, but that was always the first thing to go. And I think, I was like, oh yes, I'm going to get, this job and that job, and it would be fantastic. And I did so much work experience and, so much to plan in those 4 years.
Yeah.
And then that happened, something out with my control.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what do I do?
Yeah.
But that's actually when I went back to Aviva. Because I'd worked there before I went to uni. Went back, became involved in complaints management for some of the call centres, and then moved into communication training and change. And then that's how I then moved into investment banking. So it was strange. It's strange how it all sort of works out. And I think a lot of people talk about that, like once one door closes to you, and it's a little bit defeatist. If you keep plugging away, and you keep moving forward, even if it's not at the pace that you originally thought you would be at, you're eventually going to be on the right path, and it's eventually all going to work out. And that's definitely something that's happened to me anyway.
So I've had potential deals fall through, and then it's all worked out in the end. Someone saying that the seller pulling out, and then actually phoning me 2 weeks, or maybe even it might have even been a bit longer, might have been over a month later, being like, hey, so can we still do this? And I'm like, yeah, of course.
And that happens all the time. But I think it's a good idea to keep busy. And it's a good idea not to focus on
one thing. Because when that falls through, then you're like, oh no, the whole world.
And that's probably why we do a lot. We do this podcast, the Life Balance podcast. We're looking into other grandeur, different events and things, and we're also, doing different pieces in our business. We do land development, we source land, we do source properties on and off market, we work with investors, there's so many different bits and pieces that we both do in our businesses. And it's hard to keep all those plates, spinning at the same time, but...
A saying just came in my head that Richard Swan says all the time, and it's "This too shall pass." So maybe that's what I need to be like getting tattooed on my arm.
Yeah.
So anytime I think, "Oh no, I've been defeated," let's just remember it's not going to last forever. Life goes on, and this too shall pass.
Yeah, it's just a season in your life. And I always think of, you know, sometimes you can feel defeated, or you can feel a bit overwhelmed by a situation that's happened. And all I think about is, it could be worse. I couldn't have all these opportunities.
Yeah.
I could just be, you know, what is it Matt Saltis says, you're a corporate zombie.
Yeah.
You go to work, you come home, you live for the weekend. Go to work, come home, live for the weekend. Like that, day in, day out. No further opportunities, no way to blast through that glass ceiling.
Yeah.
You know, nothing exciting happening. And you create excitement in your life. So you'll do, you know, you'll look forward to the next holiday and different things. And it'd be nice to have a life you don't have to take a holiday from. You know what I mean? Like, in that sense, obviously it's great to travel and things. Yeah, it's great to travel and it's great to make memories and everything like that. But it's you're not wanting to take a holiday to escape. You're wanting to take a holiday to make memories. Yeah, and to travel and things like that. So yeah, I'd rather be doing this than corporate zombie.
So we've spoken about when you're feeling defeated, how would you get perspective? We've said about speaking to people you trust and having someone that will tell you straight. Don't just go to the people that are going to say everything's fine, you're doing great, regardless of the actual situation. You need some real honest people in your life. What else can you do?
To gain perspective.
Yeah, to work out if you're actually defeated or not.
Yeah. Well, I suppose you just have to think about things bigger than your situation. Yeah. I think we've spoken about this before in one of the podcasts. That you have to get out of your little world. Yeah. Yep. You know? Out of your four corners of despair.
Yeah. It's like, this is what we spoke about. I have a feeling it's a stress podcast maybe. But like
going up on roads and things like that.
Going out on a walk. Things like that.
And I think just maybe do that and like remove yourself from a little bit of a situation and take yourself to a different environment.
I've tried something that normally I'm like straight back with an answer, but I've tried this thing that everyone talks about called sleeping on it, which works.
It does work.
Who'd have thought?
Just sleep on it. Yeah. I think most women would relate to that.
Yeah. What the whole like
just
sleep
on
answer.
it. Just have a nap.
Yeah. And a lot of the time that when I have felt defeated, it's because of health. And as I said, no matter how healthy you are, there is occasion when you're going to get sick, and it's okay. And it's remembering it's okay, it's natural. But I think helping to help yourself not get sick is looking after yourself, so making sure you're taking all your vitamins and doing all your fitness and eating healthy. So that's more a preventative thing. Easy for me to say. I don't know, is there anything else that you can help prevent it? I think working on mindset, which we do anyway.
Yeah, start from the inside and work your way out.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so there is occasions when you are going to be defeated. Life does not always go your way.
Oh no, exactly. And like I was saying before, like with my experience when I graduated uni and things like that, I think things you try to plan things, and that can also come from like being quite, you know, hands-on and not controlling, but being super organised. Like that you can find it hard to sort of admit defeat.
I will admit controlling.
Yeah, so you probably
to go my own way.
Yeah, have an issue with letting go. Yeah, especially things that don't quite go to plan. Yeah, go your way.
Because I've been visualising it for so long, the exact way I think it's going to go in my head, and then when it doesn't go that way, it makes me really sad.
So
and I feel defeated.
Here's the test. Let me ask you a question.
Oh God.
What do you do if you're stuck in a traffic jam on a motorway and you can't get off?
Phone people and moan about it.
Yeah. But do you get angry?
I don't know. I think I used to,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, but now I don't know. You just have to. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. Do you accept it and?
Depends the situation. Depends where I'm going on the motorway. See.
I know, because you will. I think there's one of three people. There's the people that get angry. So the people are like, oh, can't even deal with this.
Yeah.
Like the whole life is in turmoil.
Yeah.
Or there's other people that are just like, well, you know, it happens. And then there's the third person that is dealing with the defeat and is just like, really? Is this actually happening to me today? And then it's very much like, right, let's evaluate the situation.
Yeah.
I can't get out. It's nose to tail.
Yeah.
You know, Christmas Eve or something.
Yeah.
There's snow on the motorway. Like, there's not a lot you can do. So, hunker down. Hunker down and wait.
Yeah.
I wonder if I've never been stuck on the motorway. You know when they have like a really heavy snow or something like that, and there's always a section of the motorways here in Scotland that gets shut down or something like that, and you can, and like people spend all night there.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wow.
Yeah, I remember it happened this year. It was like, was it March or April time when we had the really bad snow, and there's like people from the houses up and over the fence from the motorway coming down with like food and teas and coffees and stuff.
It's like the nicest thing ever.
Yeah.
I know. Like I actually don't know what I would do. I'd be quite scared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially if you're on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I suppose you'd be like, it'll be one of those situations where you've only got like a quarter tank of fuel, you know?
Yeah.
You're trying to put the heating on and it's like not working, you're trying to charge your phone. Yeah. It would be quite stressful. But I suppose there's not much else you can do.
No.
That's why you should always have, what is it Scotland promotes? The cold weather survival kit in your car.
Yeah, my mum made me put one of them in the car when I was driving up to Aberdeen when I was pregnant, and I had like water and biscuits and a blanket
a shovel
and a little portable urinal. I think I'm going to have to implement that again, so because after this conversation it's putting the fear in and it's coming into winter, so I'll need to get my wee blanket and everything looked out.
We're always actually okay this side of winter, apart from the really bad snow we had. When was that? 2010?
Yeah, it was ages ago. Yeah, it was no 2009, because I was in Australia. We missed it. Yeah, thank goodness.
So there you go. Yeah. Our conversations range from university to getting stuck on motorways.
Yeah. So, and I think you said this earlier, the best thing to do is, the best thing to do is to have something else lined up, so you're not getting down the dumps. It's not how far you go, it's how quick you get back up that counts.
Yeah, there's a great little viral video going around just now of a little girl, and I think her dad is like a martial arts something or other, and this little girl must only be about 3 or 4, and she must be about 4 I think, and she's got one of these little trestles and she's trying to like box jump onto it, and it's like, I think the video goes through maybe about 30 times she fails. And she keeps then, like, she's smacking herself on the floor, like she's determined, and then eventually, you know, like she's like, you can see it in her, she's like nearly defeated, and her dad's like, look, come on, like you can do it, like you're nearly there, you've got like, the last one she had like half her foot on, but then she pushed off from it, and gravity did the rest, and then he was like, come on, you can do it, like I'm so proud of you, you're doing fantastic. And then she nails it, and she gets on there, and she's like, yeah, and then she does it time and time and time again after that. And it's as if, you know, there was maybe something in her head that, you know, once you do something once, then you can fly through it. So because she didn't feel defeated, well, she probably did feel defeated, but she didn't let herself get properly defeated. That she managed to do it, and she was, you know, ecstatic about it. But that's a good and sort of analogy of, you know, so I think here's something really difficult, you could easily be defeated.
Just get out your head, because is it the 1 minute mile that took, like, no man had ever run a mile in a minute, and then, sorry, my sporting knowledge is like zero. And the first time someone done it, then so many people could do it afterwards. And it's just, it's all up here.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when things are out of your control, you know, you just have to pivot. You know,
do what you need to do. Again.
Pivot.
Love a pivot.
Pivot. We're like friends. We're from Friends. Pivot. Everyone's seen the sofa one, yeah. And yeah, no. Any fans out there? And yeah, if you pivot and still keep focused on that goal, then I mean, my goal when I graduated was get a job.
Yeah.
Like that was my one goal, and
it's quite a big task in that session. So well done.
It actually ended up that, you know, it all went very easy.
Yeah,
it was all very swimmingly, and
but I didn't feel it at the time though.
Not when I was graduating, no, I was very sort of fearful, like, oh, what's going to happen? Actually, I got the job before I graduated, obviously. I went for it just after my exams and things, so I thought, you know, I'm screwed if I wait till after the summer. But anyway, we were living together and stuff then anyway, so, you know, I needed an income and everything like that, and it all went very swimmingly, and you know, I moved up the ranks and that very, very quickly. Yeah. And I think that just shows you, like, when you're on the right path, you know, the path for you, then, you know, everything will go quite quick and quite easy and quite.
And also if you've got the right mindset, because then you're not getting broken up about things.
Like I mean, I was offered roles and I was just like, do I really want to do that?
Yeah.
But I just became the yes person. I was just like, yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea what I was really going to do. And I suppose in that sense, you know, if you are defeated in one sense, don't cut your nose to spite your face.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're saying yes to other things that come along, because you don't actually know what's going to come from that.
Yeah. Or if you failed at something before, it doesn't mean the next time you're not going to succeed.
Exactly.
In conclusion, when you're feeling defeated, first step is to speak to your inner circle and get some perspective from them. Also, understand that things take time.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to say no to opportunities that you thought on the surface they maybe don't look as good as your plan was originally, but those opportunities could lead to much better things.
Exactly. And look after yourself. That keeps you out of the defeated zone. I don't know if that's a thing.
Start from the inside.
Yeah, work inside out, absolutely. It's all about mindset as always, and if you have enough things going, then that one thing won't feel as bad. And remember just to think, so what next? Yeah. So we hope that's been helpful. If you could leave us a wee review on iTunes or a comment on YouTube or Libsyn, that would be amazing. And that's us.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and the Libsyn website, and follow us on iTunes, and also follow us on our LinkedIn.